In this video, we're talking about the top 10 reasons that Lake Chapala should be your #1 destination if you're thinking about leaving the country and moving to Mexico. I moved here October 31st, Halloween of 2017. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. And if you know Florida, it's flat and it's hot. And so I went exploring through Costa Rica, Guatemala. I wanted to go to a Latin American country. I wanted to learn Spanish. I wanted architecture in my life. I wanted some culture and I wanted mountains. I wanted mountains and cooler weather. So I was on the hunt for this. Costa Rica definitely was not it. They have beautiful mountains, but it was hot. And then I went over to Guatemala and I was mostly in Antigua, which was very nice, but it's a lot more transient than the Ajijic Lake Chapala area. I first started out as a muralist. I was doing murals in town. I still have a few public murals here. And then I opened my coffee shop and it became a hit right away. And since then it's won some awards and this and that. I met my husband in the cafe and then we eventually combined the cafe with his bed and breakfast. And I have not moved anywhere else. I've been here for 9 years and Ajijic has been the only place that I've lived the entire time that I've been here. What I found that most people are asking when they think about moving to Mexico is where's the cheapest place to live? And I feel like with the state of the world, people should be asking, where am I going to get the best quality of life? And I truly believe that Lake Chapala, Mexico is that place. Starting out with number 10, we have lake and mountain views. Anywhere you are, you either have a mountain view or you have a lake view. And the reason is because the corridor where most of the living is happening is between the lake and the mountain, and it's very narrow. So then everybody is kind of squeezed into this little area right here. So you've either got a view of the lake or you've got a view of the mountains. In my house, personally, I have a view of the mountains because we're so close to the lake. So the lower you get, the closer you get to the lake, you're not going to have as much of a lake view. But the higher you go, you're going to have the lake views. Some homes have mountain and lake views, and it's stunning, especially in the rainy season here, which is all summer. It's from about June to October. The mountains turn this lush green, and it's so beautiful. It's honestly my favorite time of year. I love overcast days, rainy days, but most of the time during rainy season, it rains in the evenings here, just FYI. And then because of the mountains, you have a lot of hiking trails in this area as well. A lot of people will come down from Guadalajara over the weekends just to go hiking here. You have waterfalls up there in the mountains that you can go check out. We have geothermal spring water that comes from the mountains. A lot of geothermal spas in San Juan Cosala, which is about 15 minutes from here. Having the lake and mountain views is a huge plus for homes here. And that's why you tend to see that homes in this area cost a little more than, you know, a small town in the middle of the country. Number 9 is friendly locals. In this area, it's a very symbiotic relationship. And I think it has something to do with what I was telling you in number 10 about how it's a very narrow corridor where we all kind of live. So we live in very close quarters. With that, I feel like people get along with each other really well. And a lot of the Mexicans speak English. A lot of them are fluent in English. So we tend to be able to understand each other a little bit better because we're coming from the United States where we were only speaking English and we need to learn a new language when we come here. But a lot of them already speak English. So it helps us in creating this symbiotic relationship. I would say it's extremely rare to find a Mexican that doesn't like the idea that the American and Canadian foreigners are here in this town. I think that they appreciate them as well as we appreciate them for allowing us to be here and in their space and learning about their culture and trying to learn their language and learning about them. And because of that, we've created this relationship with the people here where we're living together. Most of my neighborhood is Mexican and I get invited to every party that they have. And then another aspect of that is this town is 500 years old. I mean, it's probably older than that. It was founded about 500 years ago. And I personally know several people whose ancestors have been here from the beginning. I would say probably most of the town is related to each other. So they all know each other. It's still kind of a small town. We say hello when we pass by each other on the street. We say good morning. We say good afternoon, good evening. Even in the expat community, we all kind of know each other. That creates more of a family-like atmosphere. We're watching out for each other's properties. We're watching out for each other's well-being. Crime isn't a big thing here because everyone knows each other, and we're living kind of in tight quarters. So if something happens, everyone's going to know about it and who did it. Number 8 is that Lake Chapala is very pet friendly. Everyone has a dog or 10 and they bring them everywhere with them. And a lot of the businesses, mine included, the bed and breakfast and the cafe are very pet friendly, but not a lot of the businesses can handle the influx of pets being in restaurants and everything. And everyone has their differing opinions about should they be allowed or should they not be allowed. So some of the businesses are starting to put in rules where you can't bring your dog into the restaurant anymore. I remember a couple years ago, they had to say your dog is not allowed to sit in the chairs anymore. So things are changing a little bit, but I for the most part, most places are pet friendly here, and I don't think that we'll ever change our policy on being pet friendly in our place. Another thing, as an American and knowing how Americans view certain things, we don't really have strays in the U.S. It doesn't happen that often, and if we see a dog on the street, we take it and we take it to, we put posters up and everything like that. I also know that Americans have a certain view on Mexico and street dogs, and yes, there are areas that have street dogs that are legit homeless, but in this area, not too many. What happens is a lot of people don't have yards, and so they'll just let their dog out during the day. Dog's free to roam wherever dog wants to go, and then he comes home at night. And so you'll see that a lot. Most of the dogs that are in the street here without an owner or a leash do belong to someone. They're just out for the day. It's very, very common. There are also a lot of vet offices here, specialty vets. In fact, my vet, Memo, which is just 3 blocks away from my house, I was standing there talking to him for like an hour one day, and he told me that his ancestors were one of the ones that have been here since the beginning, and he's telling me all these stories and telling me what the town used to be like and everything. It was so cool. He's been a vet his whole life, and his sons are vets, and his father was a vet. Just like we have hospitals in abundance here, we also have veterinarians in abundance as well. We have pet boarding. We have pet grooming. They'll come to your house. My favorite pet boarding place is Clicker Pets. In fact, my dogs are there today. They do dog training, so they pick my dogs up at 9 a.m. and drop them back off at home at 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. In addition to boarding, you have a lot of pet sitters here as well. A lot of people will come to your house and watch your dog or your cat or your fish or your bird while you're out of town. And that's kind of nice. And it's very inexpensive. Some of them do it for free. Some get paid, depends on their resume. And then we also have companies here that make fresh, healthy dog and cat food. Number 7 is active lifestyle and walkability. Pretty much every neighborhood has their own gym. Ajijic has either Zona Fitness or Lifestyle Family Fitness. Rivera's has Evolution. San Antonio has a gym as well. San Juan Cosala, Jocotepec has several gyms. Chapala has several as well. There's CrossFit here. There's bar classes. There's Pilates, yoga, boxing. I mean, there's everything here. You can have a very active lifestyle with just gyms, or you can go hiking every day if you want to. I literally walk out my door and walk 15 minutes and I'm at a hiking trail. And that's the case for pretty much the entire lakeside area. Because of that narrow corridor, most everything is walkable. You're going to have areas like Chapala Haciendas or Brisas de Chapala that aren't walkable, that you need a car to drive, but most areas like San Antonio, Rivera's, Ajijic, you can walk anywhere. And they don't have zoning laws in these areas, in most areas. So you're going to have little businesses, tiendas, which is a little Mexican store that sells fruits and veggies and perishables. You're going to have those throughout the neighborhoods here too. So your basic needs can be met all within walking distance in most areas here. Number 6 is fresh produce and markets. Okay, so Wednesday Market is the most well-known one in this area. They take up the whole street of Revolucion, and they have their freshest produce out there. They have fresh chicken. You can go there and have breakfast or lunch if you want to, get a coffee, buy some things for your home, buy some things for your kitchen. You can get pretty much everything you need there to stock your fridge for an entire week. And they're excellent prices, and it's always fresh. I'm telling you, Wednesday Market brings their freshest, okay? Then we also have the Tuesday Farmers Market, which is in West Ajijic in La Huerta. That's where local farmers will bring their goods, and you can purchase those from them. It's all organic. Chapala has its own market. Joco has its own market. And then there's one in San Antonio as well. But there's plenty of places to get the freshest stuff. So many markets here. And then you go to Guadalajara, you got all kinds of markets over there. The best thing about being walkable here and having all those little tiendas and the markets is that if you wanted to be someone who ate fresh every day, it's so easy here. You just walk down to your local store and just grab what you need every day. Like you can make it your morning walk where you go, you come grab a coffee from El Gato Feo, and then you walk over to get your bananas and your tomatoes and your onions and your chicken, and you can just do that every day. And that's killing 2 birds with 1 stone because you're eating healthier and you're walking to go get your food. Number 5 is climate. This is my favorite one, okay? We all know certain areas are getting colder, certain areas are getting hotter. Ajijic, I think, has definitely gotten hotter since I first got here 9 years ago. Overall, though, I will take this weather over Florida any day, okay? We really only have 3 months of hot right now, which is April, May, and June. And then the rains start, and that cools everything down about 10 degrees. And that's all summer long until October. And then October through February, March, you have your cold months, which aren't even really that cold anymore. I mean, I think we turned our fireplace on 5 times this last winter, but it was mostly because the puppies were like really little. They were like 10 weeks old and wanted to sit right on the fire. Like they would have jumped into the fire if we had let them. You can grow anything here. We are literally building a garden in our backyard. You can grow it all year round. We have sunbirds who are coming from, Texas, Florida, who are looking for cooler weather. And then we have snowbirds who come from the north of the US and Canada who are looking for hotter weather. And they all come looking for, better climate, and Ajijic is that place. It's not the beach. A lot of people think of Mexico and they're like, I gotta go to the beach. And that's great if you want to go to the beach, but you gotta deal with that hot weather. I would prefer this over the beach. Absolutely, for sure. We constantly have our windows open in our house. It's kind of that lifestyle in this area, and you'll see it with the homes that are built. They're built kind of hacienda style, where there are a lot of windows, a lot of doors, and you'll see a lot of times that most of the home is outdoor living. A lot of people will live without AC, without a fireplace, without heat. They'll just weather through it, whatever it is, because really we only have like 2 or 3 really cold nights here and then a couple of months of heat here. But a lot of people haven't even installed ACs in their house yet because they think that the climate is perfect here. And sometimes they'll even leave for the hot months to go travel somewhere else in Mexico or another country, and they'll just come back when the weather gets a little bit better. Number 4 is lower cost of living. So Mexico in general has a lower cost of living. Lake Chapala is going to be a little bit higher because of the foreigner influence here, the American and Canadian influence here. So prices will be just a little bit inflated in this area. Personally, I think it's worth it. Even if the Mexicans put the so-called gringo tax on certain items, I'm happy to pay it because I am a foreigner in this country and I've basically come onto their land, and I don't expect everything to be Mexican prices. I don't make Mexican wages. But overall, your cost of living is going to be lower here. If you shop local, if you buy local produce, if you buy local meat, you're going to have a lower cost of living than if you're buying all the imported goods that they're bringing in because they know that the Americans and Canadians love it. Property taxes are extremely low. It's about $100 per every $100,000 of property worth. So if the property you're buying is $500,000, your property taxes are going to be about $500 per year, okay? I know some of you are paying $2,000 to $3,000 in property taxes every month, and that's crazy. Sell your house and come to Mexico. Those low property taxes and maintenance bills and all of that are so low, and that's the reason that you see a lot of abandoned properties here, or properties that just don't get used very often. And that's why you see that a lot of Mexicans, they rarely sell. I don't want to say rarely because it does happen, but more often than not, you're seeing Americans and Canadians that are selling their homes, not so much the Mexicans. So that's why Ajijic, San Antonio, all this area is predominantly Mexican still, which is fantastic. And that's also why we know that Mexicans tend to live many in one home, because that home has been passed down for generation, and they believe in the family unit, and they don't really believe in kicking their kids out as soon as they turn 18. They want to care, they want family around them, they want to care for them, and they're kind of like, why go pay for that extra stuff when you have something right here that's free, you know? So these properties just get passed down for generations and generations. A lot of the homes, even on my block, have been here for hundreds of years. Most homes have solar panels these days, but if you don't, electricity is still affordable here. I would say without solar panels, for two people living in a home with AC and, just regular living, you're going to probably spend anywhere from $30 to $100 a month on electricity. That's if you're using AC. AC uses the most amount of electricity in the homes here. If you're not using AC all the time, $30, I would say. All your labor services like pool guy, gardener, housekeeper, maintenance guy, those are all going to be affordable. Your healthcare here is very affordable as well. If you're paying out of pocket for certain things, like for instance, I had to go get stitches on my pinky once and it cost me $40 at the Ajijic clinic right here, and everything was fine. Prescription medication is going to be a lot less expensive here. You don't need a prescription for a lot of medication in this area, not like you do in the US and Canada. And a lot of the healthcare providers here will accept US and Canadian health insurance. So before you move here, I would check on that. Maybe just call a few hospitals in the area and see if they take your provider. Number 3 is the proximity to Guadalajara. Guadalajara is the second largest city in Mexico, and it has everything that you will find in a major U.S. city. There's 3 Home Depots. There are now 3 Costcos, major car dealerships, malls. The most beautiful mall I've ever seen. The mall is called Andares, and it is upscale. It is beautiful, and it's in a very nice area of Guadalajara. And there's so much history in that city as well. There are tons of museums. The cathedral in Centro is absolutely beautiful. There's Tlaquepaque, there's Tonalá. There are a ton of restaurants, like 5-star restaurants. A couple of restaurants that I think you guys should go to when you're visiting here is Santo Coyote and Campo Mar. Those are my 2 favorite restaurants in Guadalajara. They have great Italian, they have great Chinese, and these are authentic. I mean, we're talking about the second largest city in Mexico. So these are going to be very authentic restaurants. You've got German, you've got French, you've got it, and everything, not everything, but most places are absolutely beautiful in Guadalajara. I mean, it is a city, you know what I mean? We use Guadalajara for a lot of things. So we go to the Abastos market, which is where you can get a lot of paper goods. So we get our cups and our lids and our straws and our bags and everything from there for our cafe. We go to Costco quite a bit to stock up on things for the cafe and the bed and breakfast. And sometimes our house, not so much. For our house, we do a lot of local shopping. We get our syrups and everything for the cafe at a little place called Martinique, which is a coffee shop and coffee supplier. It's about an hour drive, hour and a half. I would say it's more like an hour now because they just refinished the highway from here to Guadalajara because of the World Cup that's coming to this area. So that's a nice stretch of road now. It used to be shit, but now it's very nice. So it doesn't take as long to get to where you need to go in Guadalajara. If you just need to get out of the small town living of Lake Chapala and you just want a change of scenery and a change of people, Guadalajara is a great place to go because it's so big. There's so many places to go. and it feels like you've entered into a new world, you know? I mean, it's a modern city, whereas Lake Chapala is still holding on to its roots, which is an amazing thing, okay? Don't get me wrong. I love that about Lake Chapala. But, you know, if you just need to get a little feel for the real world, then you go to Guadalajara and do some things over there. And then it just feels like you can take a day trip, you can take a half day trip, you can go there all weekend, you can spend a week, whatever you want to do. On top of that, there are a lot of little towns in the Lake Chapala area where you can drive to, and it feels completely different than this area here. Completely different from Ajijic and San Antonio and Riberas. Mazamitla is just across the mountain. It has its own microclimate. There's pine trees everywhere, cabins. It's a beautiful little town. Then you can go to Tapalpa over here, which has a similar feel. But there's all kinds of day trips just from here if you want to just take your car and go explore a new town. Number 2 is the airport. You are, on a good day, 20 minutes away from the airport. With some traffic, you're about 30 to 45 minutes. But most of the time, I would say it's somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. And it is an international airport that they have completely refurbished. It's beautiful now. It's one of the most beautiful airports that I've been into. They do direct flights from California, Texas, Florida, from Orlando, I believe, has a direct flight. Canada now has a direct flight to Guadalajara International Airport. You can fly anywhere in the world from Guadalajara International Airport, and it's a 20-minute drive from here. That's amazing. And that was the thing that kind of drew me to this area, because I still have family in the US. All my family's in the US, and I still want to go visit them. So, you know, I just skip over to the airport and go over there. Local flights, local Mexican flights to anywhere in Mexico are sometimes under $100 for round trip. The number 1 thing is the expat community here. It is a soft landing for anyone who hasn't spent a lot of time in Mexico but wants to come here to learn more about the culture, wants to escape their culture. Whatever your reason for coming to Mexico, this is probably the softest landing that you can get. It's instant community. Everybody talks about that because, and I think it draws back to the fact that we're in this narrow corridor here where everybody knows each other, you know? When you stay at our bed and breakfast, when you come, we have a community breakfast table. We have never split the tables apart. We don't want that. We want everybody to come join together. We want you to get to know new people, talk to us, get some information from us, get some information from some of the people maybe who have been here a few days longer than you. Or maybe this is like their 3rd or 4th visit. Maybe they're selling their home and they're staying with us in the in-between time between closing and going back home. And so then they have a lot of information for you. And then we're just a couple blocks from the Ajijic Plaza. And you can go to the Ajijic Plaza at the coffee shop there and just sit at one of the tables and you're going to meet 10 people. It's that easy. I mean, everyone talks to everybody here. And everybody gets to know each other. We're all in the Facebook groups. We are very active here. So community is instant here. Absolutely instant. Whatever gated community that you move into, if that's your home of choice, is that you'd like to live in a gated community, they're going to have their own WhatsApp group where they add you into it once you move in. And then you guys all get together and you have different things going on and everything. That's why I say it's a soft landing. And also because most of the Mexicans speak English here. And even if they don't, most of the people who are moving here do their best at learning Spanish. And I mean, if I see someone struggling with Spanish, talking to a Mexican here, I'll help translate. And you know, when you're moving to a new country, community is very important. Even if you had one person here who spoke your language, who grew up where you grew up, who knows the American culture, the Canadian culture, that helps you to not feel so homesick. So you feel a little bit of home when you get here. And so then that gives you the courage and the confidence and the ability to kind of reach out and start learning about this new culture that you've just landed into, you know, because you still have that little pillow here of community that's keeping you safe and warm. And then, I mean, of course, the Mexicans are going to keep you safe and warm too. But it's a new culture and you have to navigate it. And it can be difficult and it can be stressful sometimes. I know the first couple of years I was here, it was a little bit stressful and I was trying to open a business. So if you could only imagine, like the mañana culture was driving me crazy. And now I'm like, oh, if you can't beat them, join them. So now I'm mañana. And it's nice. Also about the Guadalajara airport, it is very easy to navigate. There is a Hilton hotel right at the airport. So you can stay the night there and walk out your door of the hotel and walk straight into your gate if you wanted to. The taxi situation at the airport is very easy to navigate as well. So once you get off your flight and you tell them, I need to go to Ajijic, you pay before you exit the airport, you pay at a kiosk and say, I need to go to Ajijic. And then you pay that kiosk and then they'll give you a ticket. And you take that ticket out to the taxi stand where there's taxis lined up and you hand them the ticket. And then they'll take you to wherever you need to go in Ajijic, and then you just tip the driver. You don't have to pay the driver extra. You've already paid for your trip. Just FYI, I've had that happen to people where the driver will ask for payment. I'm like, you already paid. I feel like everyone in the airport at Guadalajara Airport is very friendly, very helpful, very friendly. Most of them speak English. So right there, as soon as you land, you're doing good. The feel of this area that I find it hard to put into words. I'm a much better writer than I am speaker. I feel like I have zero vocabulary when I speak and all the vocabulary in the world when I write. I don't know what that's called or if there was even a term for that. The feel of this area, I feel like the Mexicans are very attached to their roots. They're very in tune to them, to their roots, to their ancestors. We still have the cobblestone streets here. We still have horses randomly riding in the street. Some people still use horses for their everyday transportation. We've got a guy on the side of the road. He's very well known. He's got a few cows. He goes out there and you can get some cow milk from him. Pajarete is what it's called, I believe. Tequila with cow milk. Like straight from the cow. He's milking the cow on the side of the road. We've got goat herders that are constantly crossing the street here. We know that Mexicans are very scrappy. We know that they can handle anything that comes their way and they do it with a smile and they don't worry about much, and they save everything. And because of that, I feel like that's why they know how to fix everything. They're more one with nature here than I've ever seen. I mean, they have Wi-Fi, they have cell phones, they live a modern life, but there's something about this area where they just have a very good sense of what can grow, what can't grow, and how the lake functions and how it affects them, and how, just these things that I feel most of us have lost because we've been so attached to technology for so long and we're looking for something modern. And I have learned so much from the Mexicans about being in tune with your own body and with your family and with the land. And I just feel like so many of them are like that, where they're very in tune to their ancestors, their roots, the land. And I don't see that everywhere in Mexico. I'm not saying this is the only place that happens, but here in Lake Chapala, and I don't know how to describe it. I don't even know if I'm describing it well right now. If you understand, I hope you understand. But Lake Chapala is definitely that. The people here, there's something about them. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's the feel. And I feel like the Lake Chapala area and the Mexican people here are just bringing me back down to being one with Earth. I feel like I've snapped into reality somehow by coming here. Like I wasn't in reality before, but now I feel like I'm in reality. Even though sometimes, things happen and I'm like, are we on another planet or what? Because maybe it's just the American mindset where we're like, that's not how I do it where I'm from, but that's how they do it here. Anywho, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your comments and questions down below. If I maybe didn't cover something and you guys have a question about it, I'll answer your comments. I hope it makes you want to move to the Lake Chapala area, and we only want nice people here, okay? I feel like my last maybe 6 buyers have been absolutely excellent. Like they've been a perfect fit for this area. Not everybody is a perfect fit, okay? Let me tell you, like we'll take them on tour and we'll just be looking at them like, what are you doing here? Are you sure you want to move here? So yeah, we're only taking nice people. So anyway, all right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you for the next one. Bye.